I was living a life that on the outside looked fine, but on the inside I was falling apart. In today's video, I'm going to share with you what saved my mental health during a dark period of my life. Hi, I'm Maria, welcome back to my channel. I had what most people would consider a decent life. I had a stable job, I had responsibilities, the whole adult thing. But I always had this feeling that I was living someone else's life. I was always rushing through the day. It seems like I didn't have time to breathe, to be present in my own life. And the thing about burnout is that it doesn't happen overnight. You don't notice at first, but now that I have some distance, I can see it with more clarity. My body was screaming at me to stop, but I kept pushing through. I thought I was being strong, but I was being reckless with my own well-being. I was exhausted and anxious even after sleep. I had zero patience with things that used to bring me joy. I was having what now I call zombie days. Those days when you're physically present, but mentally and emotionally you're not. I started seeing warning signs everywhere. I could finally see what happens when we don't respect our body's limits. All around me, people were burning out from work. Some of my co-workers were taking pills for anxiety and to help them sleep. A lot of them looked tired, unmotivated, and unhappy with their jobs. But the real wake-up call happened when a good friend of mine and colleague collapsed in the middle of the street. He was exhausted. His body just shut down in one of the busiest streets in Lisbon. And he only remembers that one moment he was walking and the next one he was on the ground with people trying to help him. When he told me this story, everything became clear in my mind. I was going down the same road and I needed to make a big change in my life. I needed to quit my job. If you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing my channel. Give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or family. Now let's get back to the story. But I wasn't ready to quit yet. I was worried about my money savings, if they would be enough. And emotionally, I wasn't ready for this big move. I needed time to think, to plan things like where would I live or what would I do for work. With all this in my mind, the big question here was, how do I take care of my mental health during this transition period, knowing that I would have to stay in that job for at least another year? So instead of worrying about the things I cannot control, I decided to focus on what I could control. I could control my reactions, my daily habits, how I dealt with stress, and all the small choices that I could make through the day. I created a survival toolkit with simple practices that could help me through the day while I was planning my way out. I started with my mornings because that's when I had the most control. So I used to wake up 1 hour earlier, and the first thing that I did was a phone detox. No news, no emails, no scrolling, no social media. Then I would meditate for 5 minutes. Nothing fancy, just sitting quiet and breathing. Some days my mind would race, other days I would feel really relaxed. I accepted that both days were fine because nothing is perfect, not even in meditation. Then I would do some yoga stretches, nothing fancy, just some exercises that I learned in class, just a way to wake up the body. The good thing about this routine is that it was mine. It was my permission to take care of myself. But the workday was still the workday. I couldn't change my job overnight, but I could make small changes during the day and small adjustments. I put in my phone daily alarms with little reminders, little messages saying pause, breathe, stretch, slow down, drink water. Because in the middle of the chaos that often work is, we forget to do these basic things like breathe properly, slow down, and drink water. This might sound silly, but these little reminders brought me back to myself. Just remember to breathe properly, just stretching my neck. That would change my mood instantly. Lunch breaks became sacred. I don't care what was happening at work, I would take a 15-30 minute walk. Next to my workplace there was a garden, so I used to go there to eat or sit under the tree, maybe listening some music or just hear the birds singing. This lunch break would reset my energy for the entire afternoon. After work, I would go swimming because being in the water was really relaxing, and it is really relaxing for me since I know how to swim. But the one thing that I did every night was journaling. I would write down everything that was in my head. Random thoughts, worries, things that I was grateful for, whatever came up. Putting all those thoughts on paper helped me a lot process the day and stay in connection with my emotions. It was like emptying my mind before I go to bed. And I even realized that there were some things that I was stressed during the day, that at the end of the day, they weren't so important. I need to be honest about something. These practices were band-aids to a bigger wound. They helped me a lot function and survive, but they didn't fix the root problem. I was still in a job that was draining me a lot. But not everyone can quit their job tomorrow. Not everyone has the luxury of making this life change immediately. These practices gave me mental and emotional strength that I needed before I make this change. If you are in the same situation, you don't have to do exactly what I did. Maybe your survival toolkit is not meditation. Maybe you think yoga or walking is boring. The important thing here is finding what resonates with you. I have friends who recharge by walking their dogs, others who like gardening or going to the gym. There's no right or wrong. It's just you taking care of yourself, because self-care isn't selfish. It's been 8 months since I quit the job, and I still do these practices every single day. Of course, my routine now is different. I no longer live in survival mode, but these routines help me a lot to stay connected with myself. So I challenge you to choose one thing from this video, one that makes you relaxed and feel grounded, and try it for 1 week. Be consistent, start small. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon. My body was screaming me to shop. My body was literally, my body was literally, it seemed like I didn't have time to breathe.